Hello YouTubers, grumpy old man here, just getting set up in the extension to the studio. I refer to it as the cottage. Nothing but windows and screens in here. I'd have to, eventually I'm putting a sofa there I'm getting from Troll, and that wall is solid and you won't have this big bright spot over top. Not going to bother with curtains. Was just sitting down to do the follow-up on my Purolator complaint that has taken 2 months for a resolution when FedEx showed up. I invited the guy to sit in on me and listen to me bitch about Purolator, but he's got to go to his next spot. So, what I got from the GM is a little sticker you put on the door, signature not required. So that was one part of the resolution. This is what I've been asking for 2 months. The second part, my guy, Steve, was supposed to call me back last week. Didn't hear any word from him. So I called him yesterday, left a message. About an hour later, he called back. He hadn't done any follow-up because it's not until he got my call that he contacted the GM in Ottawa. And they're blaming the GM in Ottawa for not passing the message on to the driver. When I worked for UPS, that was on your little phone thing, the big thing, bigger than an iPad. It was huge that we had to carry with us in a big holster on our hip. It's about 8 inches wide, but 11 inches long. And we got mosquitoes. Hopefully they won't interfere with the filming. But anyway, they're blaming the GM. So Steve said to me, "Oh well, you were supposed to call back if there was any kind of any kind of more issues." I said, "More issues? I've been waiting for you guys to return the call, like you say, within 24 to 48 hours. I've been waiting 2 months, and I've called 4 times. Like you people don't know how to pick up the phone. I went online and did the online chatting twice. They kept telling me that, no, we don't have the information." I said, "Well, you have my phone number. Pick up the phone and call me." Nobody called. I said, "That's my complaint. Your failure to communicate." And he finally said, "We're sorry." I said, "That's exactly what I was looking for. For somebody just to admit they screwed up, and we're going to endeavor not to do it again." And then he started to say the reasons why the driver couldn't come down the laneway. Well, it was dangerous. Oh yeah? What's the danger? Because my insurance company would love to know what's the danger in somebody driving into my property. I said, "That's gobshite." And then he said, one of them is the laneway's not plowed, the snow's not removed. I said, "That's not true either. And if you look at my YouTube videos, you'll see on that very day, I parked my truck in the middle of the laneway and I filmed from both directions showing what it looked like." I said, "Don't give me damned excuses, because that's all they are. Just excuses for you guys not to do your work." It's gobshite. That's the one word I could use without, getting really nasty at them. So I said, "Obviously, you're just a puppet for the company. You don't have the customer service skills. It's not about customer service, because if you work in the customer service industry, you know the first thing you do is you listen to the complaint. Because sometimes that's all they have to do is tell you what the problem is." And he was trying to tell me what I had reported when I called from Trolls, and it was wrong. I said, "No, that's not correct." He said, "Well, listen to me. You're in there." I said, "Your information is wrong. And telling me wrong information isn't helping the situation. You should be listening to me tell you what the original complaint was, because obviously you haven't communicated that information correctly." And he tried to say, "Well, this is what you told them." I said, "Nope, that's not what I told them. That's part of my complaint. You are failing to communicate properly and in a timely fashion. I've been lied to repeatedly. 24 to 48 hours, somebody will get back to you. Not a single person has called me back, not even you." So at the end of my ranting and raving, and at least I didn't swear, that's one good thing. That was it. I hung up. I said, "Obviously, you're not the right person to deal with this situation. You haven't got the skills, and you haven't got the information correct. And you're blaming the GM, Pierre, in Ottawa. Pierre called me after my last video was uploaded. It's like, yeah, use, and he said he would send them the link. So obviously this guy, Steve, didn't even look at it, and if he did, he just doesn't care. And that brings me back to something I was told years ago by my grandfather on my mom's side. If any company ever pisses you off, buy shares, because you know that they are more interested in keeping the shareholder happy than they are the customer. So it comes down to the bottom line. Purolator is big enough that they really don't care if the customers aren't happy. Because ultimately, I'm just receiving the package. And it showed up. Eventually. That's it. Job's done. We don't have to try and do it any better than that. We don't have to try and do it in as quick as possible. You should, because that means you have room in the truck for more packages. This is one of the things he said, oh, the truck may have been overloaded. Oh, well then put 2 trucks on. If it's that busy, give them an extra truck. Oh, you did that once, and the contractor didn't deliver the package either. So maybe you should stop hiring contractors and put a second Purolator truck on the road for this route. Driver's been at it 10 years. He knows where the house is. Don't blame the driver. Maybe we should. In some instances, you know, he doesn't want to come down the laneway because there's a bit of snow. In the wintertime, we have a shared laneway. We only blow one of them. He knows that. He's been down here enough times. And I tell them that when I ship something, or when it's being shipped, we have a shared laneway. Come in the shared laneway. So, kudos to Purolator for reaching out to me and helping to resolve my 2 complaints, for 1 complaint being resolved. For the second one, yeah, it's gone. One's been resolved, one of them's still there. No thanks. And I told them if I could ship with anybody else, if I could permanently remove myself from Purolator and force you to give it to like FedEx, who was just here a minute ago. UPS was here yesterday at the neighbor's because I heard some honking. And I looked out, and there he is backing the truck up into the neighbor's parking spot in front of his house. And I went, that's exactly what you were taught in the training. When you put it in reverse, give it a honk. Even though you have a reverse, like a backup camera, you still honk. And here you are out in the middle of nowhere in an obviously empty spot, you know, and you honk. Way to go, UPS. Way to go, FedEx. Purolator, not so much. Anyway, thanks for listening to my rants. It really does help me to rant, and that's all I needed to do to Purolator, for them to say, sorry, we'll do our best not to do it again. Didn't get that. And I don't expect it. I just look at opportunities for another video. Stay tuned. I have 4 on my list of You Know You're an Idiot, and I'll soon have 5. And when I get 5, I'll go back to doing 5 at a time. And we've got a whole bunch of Smitty stories in the queue waiting to be released. We have a really nice one about the saddle. It was we have a 150-year-old saddle that we rebuilt back in the 1970s. So when Smitty was here, we talked about that one as well. So stay tuned for more stuff. And thank you for watching. Take care, folks.